Hi folks, here we are in Du Bois, Wyoming. And I went over to the Cowboy Cafe and I was asking around in there for people to interview about this cool town. And I ran into a guy named Steve and a woman named Colette. They gave me a heads up on a couple people to talk to. One is named Gary. He's down that way. In the process of trying to find Gary, I got lost. But in the process of getting lost, look what I found. This panorama. Finally did find Gary, and he is quite a guy. Gary had to come get me on the side of the road, but we hooked up and we're here in his home/gallery. He's been painting a long time and he's lived in this area a long time and he knows all about it. Tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I was born into a pioneer ranching family in far eastern Wyoming. Goes clear back to even my grandparents and great-grandparents that were on both sides that lived in that area. When I was a young child, we moved to Casper, Wyoming, which is central Wyoming. And my dad bought a place south of Casper, the foot of Casper Mountain. So I grew up with the mountains and gained quite a love and knowledge of the outdoors. That's been my whole life. My college training was in biology and art, particularly towards wildlife and habitats and how they affect each other, the ecosystems of the area.
While I was lost, went up this really beautiful road, and you told me that just the other day there were 100 elk up on that very same hill, and that's a common thing?
It's very common, and summertimes, you know, I have kind of a hobby where I look for grizzly bears to photograph. Of course, I do that on my terms and not theirs. But they're a very interesting animal, and I've gotten hundreds of pictures of them. I guess the easiest way to say is if it's not on your terms, you just back out and go back another day.
Gary, when I was down at the Cowboy Cafe, Steve and Colette told me to ask you about the Butch Cassidy story. I guess Butch Cassidy hung out around here.
Yeah, Butch Cassidy, of course, grew up in Utah. When he first left home, he was working in a mine in Telluride, Colorado. And after a short period of time, he robbed the bank there. And Butch always made getaways before doing jobs, he would stash horses as relays for quite a distance. And he could always outrun the law that way with fresh horses, which he did in the Telluride bank robbery. Well, he came up to Lander, Wyoming, or eventually made it that far north, and bought a ranch from a fellow who had a ranch up here, and just north of Du Bois. So Butch ran that ranch for a number of years until he got in a little bit of trouble with a fellow in the Bighorn Basin near Cody called Otto Frank, which is in the Meeteetse area. And Otto never did like Butch. And whether he actually did or not, but he accused Butch of stealing horses. And because of that, he was arrested and put in the territorial prison in Laramie for a period of a year. And after he got out, he decided as long as they thought he was an outlaw, he would just continue that way. And the story is he was very smart about the way he did his outlawing, and seemed to get away with it for quite a few years until the Pinkertons got pretty heavy onto him. He had to go to South America. And the story is that, if you ever seen the movie Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, where they were killed in South America, but there are a lot of people in this area, and I knew some of them personally, who as kids saw Butch Cassidy in the 1930s when he made a road trip in an old touring car, pulling a trailer up in this area. And the story was that he actually then ended up in Spokane, Washington area. I don't know. One of my old partners in a gallery I ran for a number of years was Bud Bowler, who was quite a well-known sculptor. Paul Harvey and Charlton Heston collected a lot of his work. People like that is quite a names dropper. But his grandfather rode with Butch Cassidy and was involved in a lot of the plannings for what Butch did. And Bud had a lot of stories that, you know, I could just relay some of the stories that he told would keep you going for days. about his grandfather and his association with Butch Cassidy. One other thing I might mention about Butch, he had really endeared himself to the town population. He was known as kind of a Robin Hood, but a lot of his robbings or ventures out robbing, he gave a lot of the money away to people who needed it. If you needed a grub stake or were down, Butch would give you the money for it. And there happened to be a girl who was very sick, and they didn't have any medicine in the area, so he rode horseback with a couple horses all the way to Fort Washakie, which is down towards Lander, Wyoming. It's a distance of about 70 miles. And he did all that in one night to bring the medicine up, which actually saved the little girl. So he really did endear himself to the population.
Well, back on the road again. Great to talk to Gary. I hope you enjoyed him. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell to receive notifications of future posts. Thanks.